Jey Uso's rise to the pinnacle of wrestling is nothing short of extraordinary. It is a tale of self-discovery, immense struggle, and the unyielding determination to overcome the odds. Born into a Samoan wrestling dynasty that is revered worldwide, Jey was raised in the shadow of giants. His family, including his father Rikishi, his uncles the Wild Samoans, and cousins like Roman Reigns and The Rock, built a legacy of dominance and tradition that set an incredibly high bar. But Jey's journey to greatness would be a battle in itself. A battle not only to rise from his family's shadow, but to forge his own path and make his name known on his own terms. The early days, a family affair. From the very beginning, Jey and his twin brother Jimmy were immersed in the world of professional wrestling. They grew up idolizing their family, learning the ins and outs of the business from a very young age. Their lineage was steeped in success, but with that success came an immense amount of pressure. The Usos were born into a family that had already left its mark on the industry, and from the start, it seemed as if they had big shoes to fill. Debuting in wrestling wasn't a grand spectacle for the Uso brothers. They entered the company with simple gear and wild, untamed hair. No flashy gimmicks, no larger-than-life personas. In the early days, the Usos were a basic tag team, humble and unassuming. They didn't immediately capture the attention of the WWE universe. They were just two young wrestlers trying to make a name for themselves. This period was humbling, as Jey and Jimmy worked tirelessly to prove their worth. But the fans would soon come to realize that the Usos were much more than they appeared to be. They weren't just a pair of wrestlers. They were warriors in the truest sense, fighting for their family's legacy. The turning point: reclaiming identity. As their careers progressed, Jey and Jimmy began to embrace their Samoan roots with more authenticity. They shed their initial generic gimmick and returned to their cultural heritage, infusing their in-ring style with traditional Samoan influences. This transformation marked a turning point, not only for the Usos as a tag team, but for Jey as an individual. No longer content with being just a supporting player, Jey found a renewed sense of pride in who he was, both as a wrestler and as a member of his family. The Usos' rivalry with legendary tag teams like the New Day and the Dudley Boys helped to establish them as serious contenders in the WWE Tag Team division. But even in these moments, Jey wasn't satisfied. His skills were undeniable, but he wanted more. He wanted to be more than just a tag team wrestler. He wanted to prove that he was capable of standing on his own. Behind the scenes, Jey worked tirelessly to improve himself. He focused on his physical strength, mental resilience, and self-belief. It wasn't enough to be part of a successful team. Jey knew that if he was ever going to reach the top, he had to believe in his own abilities and push himself beyond his limits. This transformation was essential for his future as a solo star, a journey that was destined to begin soon. The solo journey, from underdog to champion. It wasn't long before Jey Uso stepped out from under his brother's shadow and began carving his own path. His true solo journey began in 2020 with a rivalry that would set the stage for his rise to the top. His conflict with Roman Reigns, his own cousin. Roman Reigns had ascended to new heights in wrestling, and the world knew him as the tribal chief and head of the table. Jey, on the other hand, was still viewed as a hard-hitting, underrated tag team wrestler. At first, many fans found it hard to believe that Jey could stand toe-to-toe with someone as dominant as Roman. The narrative seemed set. Roman was the undisputed champion, and Jey was just a challenger. But what transpired over the next few months would change everything. Their first singles match at Clash of Champions was a turning point. Jey gave everything he had in the ring, fighting not just for the title, but to prove to the world, and to himself, that he belonged at the top. In a highly emotional and brutal encounter, Jey fell short against Roman, losing the match in front of the WWE Universe. But instead of breaking him, the loss ignited something inside Jey. The defeat was the catalyst for his transformation. Jey wasn't content being the underdog anymore. He wasn't satisfied simply being a challenger. He was determined to show the world that he had what it took to succeed as a solo star. The rise of the main event Uso. Jey's rivalry with Roman Reigns grew deeper, more personal, and more intense. It wasn't just about titles anymore. It was about family, pride, and legacy. As Roman sought to assert his dominance within the bloodline, Jey began to question his place in the family and in the world of wrestling. Could he continue to live in Roman's shadow, or would he carve out a legacy of his own? The tension between the two cousins reached its peak when Jey realized that he wasn't just a follower. He was a leader, a warrior in his own right. The once hesitant underdog was now the main event Uso, a force to be reckoned with. His growth was evident, both inside and outside the ring, as he shed the last remnants of self-doubt and began to believe in his own strength and resilience. The ultimate triumph, the Royal Rumble. Jey Uso's crowning achievement came at the 2025 Royal Rumble. After years of struggling, evolving, and fighting against the odds, Jey finally stepped into the spotlight in a way that no one had ever expected. The Royal Rumble match was filled with wrestling's best and brightest stars: Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and many others. Jey entered the match as an underdog once again, but this time, he was ready. The 2025 Royal Rumble match was chaotic, unpredictable, and full of drama. The arena was packed with excitement as Jey, now a seasoned competitor, showcased his new persona: ruthless, calculated, and determined. He wasn't simply trying to survive. He was there to win, and he was prepared to eliminate anyone who stood in his way. Jey's strategic approach to the match made him stand out from the pack. While others brawled and threw themselves recklessly into the chaos, Jey remained calm, picking his moments carefully and striking when it mattered most. His composure paid off, and one by one, he eliminated some of the top superstars in the match. The final moments of the Royal Rumble were nothing short of breathtaking. Jey faced off against Roman Reigns, his cousin, in an emotional showdown that sent shockwaves through the WWE universe. Roman, as the reigning tribal chief, had long been seen as the most dominant force in wrestling. But Jey wasn't afraid. Their battle was intense, physical, and emotionally charged. As the two cousins clashed in the ring, the world watched in awe. In an unexpected turn of events, Jey Uso eliminated Roman Reigns from the Royal Rumble, shocking the crowd and sending a message to everyone in WWE. Jey had done it. He had conquered the odds, eliminated his own cousin, and earned his spot at the main event of WrestleMania. Champion of his own destiny, Jey Uso's victory at the Royal Rumble was just the beginning. Now he was on the biggest stage in professional wrestling, WrestleMania. The Universal Championship was on the line. Jey Uso's victory at the Royal Rumble was just the beginning. Now he is on course for the biggest stage in professional wrestling, WrestleMania. The Universal Championship will be on the line with Gunther, and he is ready to claim it for himself. The match against Gunther, one of the biggest names in the industry, will be a spectacle, an emotional roller coaster that featured some of. But for Jey, it will be more than just a title match. He will have a chance to prove that he is more than just a part of a legacy. He's a legacy in himself. Jey Uso's rise to the top is a story of defiance, resilience, and transformation. That's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates.